Hi. So this is a quick tip this week that came from a question from one of my clients. They had a calendar, a save the date calendar, that they used in their eNotify. And the problem was they didn't want to show events on that calendar that happened within the next week. They wanted to show from a week out to a month out. So to give you an example, let's take a look at this calendar here. We're on the 9th of December today, and I set up a couple of meetings throughout the next couple of weeks. If they were to include this as their save the date calendar in eNotify, they don't want meeting 2, meeting 3, or meeting 4 to show up in that calendar because those are probably within a coming week calendar or something like that, and they didn't want to have the duplication. Instead, they wanted to show dates that are further in the future, maybe starting with meeting 5 on the 16th, then meeting 6 and meeting 7 out to 30 days in the future, let's say. The problem is when you go to eNotify, we don't get to choose events in the future for where to start. We can choose a number of days before today to start, and then a number of days after today to go until. So at first glance, it doesn't seem like it's really possible to start in the future. Something else, just a side note here that I noticed is if you just use these arrows to adjust your days before, and we come down, it stops at 1. It doesn't let me go any further than 1. And so this is your first clue as to how to solve this problem. We know that you can start 0 days before today, which would be today, and so it's got to accept a value of 0. And it does just let us enter in that number 0 and hit save. So I've included that element in a template. And the template's really simple, as you can see. It's just got a save the date title at the top and then my dynamic calendar in the middle of it. So if I send a test eNotify with this calendar the way it's currently configured, starting at 0 days before today and ending at 30 days after today, I get this. It's exactly what you would expect. It starts with meeting 2 on Saturday and goes the whole way through meeting 7 on December 22nd. So let's go back to our dynamic element again. We already saw that you can manually enter a value into the fields for days before and days after. You don't have to use those little toggle arrows up and down. So what would happen if we chose a negative number for days before? For example, if I put in here -7. Logically, -7 days before today is actually 7 days after today. So the question is, would this fix the problem and set our calendar in the future? If we save this and send a test eNotify, we can see that it does solve the problem. Now the calendar starts on December 16th with meeting 5 and goes through meeting 7, and there's no longer an issue with my client's calendar. So you might not have a specific need for this exactly, but it does open the question of what other non-standard values can be entered into fields, not just for eNotify, but for other modules that FinalSite has. It's worth some experimentation to see how the system reacts to different values, and you might find something that surprises you.